Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om 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 Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhuktaram Yajna Tapsam.
Bhuktaram Yajna Tapsam.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suvritam Sarvabhutanam.
Suvritam Sarvabhutanam.
Myatva Mam Shantim Richati.
Yatva Mam Shantim Richati.
So Bhoktaram means one who is the enjoyer. And Krishna says, actually, I am the ultimate beneficiary, meaning I'm the ultimate enjoyer of what? Yagna tapsam, of all the sacrifice. So in this life, to achieve anything, we have to make sacrifice. And so if that sacrifice we dedicate to Krishna, then it becomes Jagna. And tapasam means we have to make an effort, we have to do some tapasya, some austerity. So if you want to pass an exam, the tapasya is, you have to study hard, sometimes wait till late at night. So that is austerity. And all the sacrifice and austerity is meant for Krishna. Now you may ask why this is the case. So Krishna answers, because I am Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
I am the controller of all the universes. Ishwaram means one who controls. So in this world, everyone wants to enjoy. But scripture said, to enjoy, there are some prerequisites. Firstly, to enjoy, you have to have some ownership, isn't it? Without having ownership of home, without having ownership of car, without having control over loved ones, there is no question of enjoyment. And when you have proprietorship, then you have to also have control over it. But in order to have proprietorship in this world, we have to work hard like cats and dogs, Prabhupada says. And sometimes the whole life goes on and still the mortgage isn't paid off. So actually, who is the real proprietor? And certainly, we may not have control over things. Our name may be that I am the title holder of this property. But guess what? It is mortgaged at the bank. Mortgage, basically, the root word means till death. That's what actually it means, mortgage, till death. So basically, whole our life just goes on. So we are not real proprietors. Real proprietor is Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a nice verse which describes. Please sing. Shriya Patir Yajnaprati Prajapati Dhiyam Patir Lokapatir Dharapati. Shrihapati. He is the husband of goddess of fortune. Everything in this world is owned by Krishna. Shriyapati. And Yagnapati, he is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Whether we accept or not, actually he is. And Prajapati, he is the leader of all the populace, all the living entities. He provides oxygen, he provides water, he provides vegetables, he provides the sunlight, he is the source of the moon. All the planets, Lokapati. This word Patihi is very nice, used in different contexts in this word. So basically, if you are a real owner, that means you have full control. We don't even have control over our body. If 5 seconds I ask you not to breathe, try it. We are so much dependent. We are not able to control of our breath. But Krishna is Sarva Loka Maha Ishwaram. Maheshwaram is, when you do the Chandi, break that down, is Maha Ishwaram, great Ishwara. Ishvara means controller. Krishna is in full control. And Krishna doesn't have to work hard to enjoy. Once a German gentleman went to India because he found out that India is the land of spirituality. And thereon he went on a journey to find out who is real God. And he went to many, many temples. And we have so many temples, so many demigods. And he went to temple of Durga, Kali, Lord Ram, Hanuman, many, many temples. Ultimately, he came to the temple of Krishna. And there when he saw the Archa Vigraha of Krishna, like we have Shri Radha Krsna, then he concluded that if anyone must be God, then it must be Krishna. Why? Because all other deities, they were doing some work. They had weapons in their hand. Lord Ram has bow and arrow always. Kali, Durga, Mata, they are very ghastly. They have so many weapons. Tongue is coming out. But Krishna, he is in a three-bhangi form, bent from three bodily limbs, playing flute, and he's enjoying. So, who is a real enjoyer? Real enjoyer means natasya karyam karanam chavidyate. They don't have to do any work to enjoy. By their innate nature, they are just enjoying. By their innate nature, they are just happy. This is the first verse Bhishma Dev actually says when he's lying on the deathbed. And Bhishma Dev, as we know, is the oldest of the Kurus. He's seen many Deepavalis that all other Pandavas, Kauravas combined even. And what does Bhishma Dev say in his first verse? Iti mate rupa kalpita vitrishna bhagavati sattvata tungave vibhumni. He says, let me invest the faculty of my thinking, feeling and willing into the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is swasukham upagate kvachit vihartum. Who is swasukham? Meaning, he is the abode of happiness. Happiness is inside him. So, two things we have to understand here. When the question of investment comes, what do we think about if you have to invest something somewhere? Anyone? What is the returns? Profit. What is the profit? What is the returns? If you put your money in a transaction account nowadays, what is the rate? Someone said 1%, less than 1% perhaps. Yes. So we want what? Optimal return for maximum effort. That is the whole thing. So if we invest, now Bhishma Dev, after living all his life, he is now making an investment of his thinking, feeling and willing into the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Why? Because he says Krishna is swasukham. He is radiating happiness from inside. It is said, we may have smiles on our face, but our hearts are crying inside. But what if we are perpetually and always with someone who is very happy? What happens? We become happy also, because that is contagious. And therefore, they said the best thing to do when you are depressed, feeling sad, is just to pick up the phone and call your best friend. And best friend, Suhida. Suhida means well-wisher. The best friend, best well-wisher is Krishna. Krishna says, Suhida Sarva Bhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all living entities, Sarva Bhutanam. If only we come to know this. We have to just pick up the phone and dial the number. What is the number? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This number directly connects to the heart. And when we are able to connect with the Lord, Swasukham upagate kvachit vihartum, then he does vihar. Vihar means he dances on our tongues and on our hearts. So, before understanding this pastime of Julan Yatra, it is important to understand the tattva. Tattva means the supremacy of the Lord. This is not just an ordinary couple, Radha Krishna, like you and me. No, we are talking about supreme absolute truth, the owner, Shrihapati, the enjoyer, Yagnapati, the leader, Prajapati, of all planets, Lokapati, including Dharapati, and therefore he is Patiri Gatis. Gatis means he is the goal. And if we want to be really happy like him, then Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satam Patihi, then we have to actually be an object that please him. Prasidatam means it's a prayer. Shukdev Goswami says, please repeat. Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satam Patihi. O Satam Patihi, the leader of the devotees, the Lord of the devotees, Bhagavan, please be pleased with me. That's actually when we can experience happiness and pleasure. But not recognizing Krishna as the Supreme Lord, what do we try to do? We try to take pleasure from the material objects and persons. So Bhagavad Gita, this verse we have done many times, where Krishna explains, Yahi samsparshaja bhoga, as soon as they is touched with material elements, dukkha yonaye, the starting, the birth of misery starts. Because we are spirit souls and we need spiritual touch. But when we think, no, by sight, by touch, by smell, by taste, by hearing, and so, by indulging in material things, will be happy. That is adi, the starting, and even the ending. Antava, kantaya, it actually will not give us pleasure. And therefore Krishna advises, not teshu ramate buddha, a wise person does not delight in it. So, one may say, how can you say that, Prabhu? Just now outside we had such nice prasadam. It was so enjoyable. Of course, prasadam is transcendental because it has been touched by Krishna's vision. We have lovingly cooked for Krishna and we have offered it to Shishiradi, Radha Girigorandhari, and through their vision, Angami Yasya Sakalindriya Vrittimanti, they have accepted the prasadam. So that's spiritual. But, okay, outside, without offering, you eat something. That was pleasurable. Okay, then, some other aspect you may say is pleasurable. Okay, we accept it. Some pleasure is there. However, there is a limit to such pleasure. There is definitely limit to some pleasure, that pleasure. Because in this material world, whatever pleasure we get at the start, at the end, actually it will result in misery. And especially when we are not able to control senses. I remember first time I went to India when I was, I think, about 26 years of age. So when I went to India, and now I stayed with my Guru Maharaj in his ashram for 3 months, and once we were invited to someone's home for home program. So Guru Maharaj did nice program. Then at the end, prasadam came. And at the end of that, this sweet dish came, and it was so nice, so nice. And no, it wasn't gulab jamun. It was something better than gulab jamun. Guess what it could be? Someone said. No. Basundi. Does anyone have a basundi? Yes, it was basundi. And first time in my life I tasted basundi. And I said, this is divine. Nothing can match this. I ate. Then it kept coming. I kept filling. And I counted. 26 bowls. Basundi I had. My godbrothers, they were giving me, Prabhu, take mine as well. I ate it all. But for next 2 days, I was sick like anything. Guru Maharaj is at Mangal Arati. And he sees, where are all the devotees? And then he, Viraj, where is Viraj? He is not here. And, oh, Maharaj is sick. He ate too much basundi. So that's what happens. There is a limit. In enjoyment, in material world, there is a limit, definitely. And we cannot go on perpetually enjoying. Huh? You ask our Dauji Prabhu is sitting there, isn't it? 26 bowls of basmati. What is that recipe for Prabhu? Sugar level will go up straight. So Adi Shankara says, Vayasi gate kaha kama vikara sukshne nire kaha kasara. Vayasi gate kama vikara sukshne nire kaha kasara. Vayasi gate kaha kama vikara sukshne nire kaha kasara. Vayasi gate kaha kama vikara sukshne nire kaha kasara. Shine when the body is no longer fit to enjoy, what is the use of all the desires that we are harboring in our heart? An old man, no longer able to enjoy, he just suffers. And then, Sukshma Nire Kaha Kashara. When the lake is dried up, no water in the lake, what is the use of that lake? So similarly, as time goes on, our bodies won't be capable of enjoying. Vitte Shine Kaha Parivara. When the money is gone, then where is all the family? All the family is also gone when there is no money. This is the bitter truth, harsh reality. But similarly, Shankara says, Yate tattve kaha samsara. What brings birth, death, old age and disease when we know the tattva? Tattva means absolute truth. And that absolute truth is Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says, as soon as you know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Absolute Truth, then there is no more birth, death, old age and disease. And when we know this fact, that Krishna is the Supreme Enjoyer, Krishna is the Supreme Proprietor, Krishna is the Supreme Controller. And the best way to know Him is to sing His names. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Murate. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And surrendering to Krishna will experience the pleasure. This is a nice way of Bhagavatam which tells us the extent of pleasure we can experience. Natosmyaham tatcharanam samiyusham bhavachidam swasti ayanam sumangalam. So face these three things we meditate on. That as soon as natosmyaham tatcharanam, as soon as we bow down to the lotus feet of Krishna and surrender down to his lotus feet, samiyusham, his lotus feet is the shelter of all that be. Then what happens? Three things. Bhavachidam, the cycle of birth and death is plundered. And swasti ayanam. Swasti means good fortune. Our good fortune arises. Swasti ayanam. And sumangalam, the life of auspiciousness starts. Mangala means auspicious, but sumangala means extra auspicious. Yo hi atma maya vibham sma paryagar yatha nava swantum atha pare kutaha. So, he says, even the sky cannot estimate the limits of its own expansion. So what can others do when the Lord himself is unable to estimate his own limits? One of the names of Lord is Aprameyam. Aprameyam means he is immeasurable. And Krishna's innate nature is Swasukham. There is no limit to his happiness, to his pleasure, to his ananda. He is Sachidananda Ghana, mind or reservoir of pleasure. And there is no limits to it. In material world, Hare Krishna, she wants to be close to Krishna. In the material world, the limits are there, but in the spiritual world, or even in this material world, as far as spirituality is concerned, there is no limits. We can go on chanting the Mahamantra and experience perpetual pleasure. And what this perpetual pleasure does is we are able to have the opportunity when we come to the temple. Guess what? We are seeing the Lord. But the Lord is seeing us with more affection, love and care. Jayadeva Goswami says, Amala kamala dala lochanae bhavamo chanae.
Amala kamala
in his vision. We say, oh, these people looked and something bad happened. What is it called? The evil eye. Evil eye. इसकी नजर बहुत खराब है. But Krishna is Amala, Dala. Dala means lotus petal. Lochan means eyes. Krishna's eyes are spotless, without any contamination. And as soon as Krishna's Kripa Drishtri, merciful sight, falls on the living entity, what happens to him? Bhavamo Chanahe. Please repeat. Bhavamo Chanahe. He ponders the cycle of birth and death. So today you have an opportunity to have a close look at Shri Radha Krsna when you do the swing. And in a prayerful mood, look at their eyes. Look at Krishna's eyes, Radha's eyes, and pray that please bestow your merciful glance upon me so that my material life becomes plundered and I can feel that same spiritual happiness that you are bringing about. Please allow me to save you. Please allow me to be amongst your devotees. Amala kamala dala lochana hai, bhavamochana hai. Treasure of happiness, treasure of ananda, ananda panna khana. He is complete reservoir of pleasure. And in this wonderful paper of the words we just discussed, the ways we just discussed previously, let's look at what Prabhupada says. Paper by His loving divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. It is said in scriptures, Brahma Saukhyam Dvanandam, spiritual happiness is unlimited. Here it is said that even Lord cannot measure such happiness. This does not mean that Lord cannot measure it and is therefore imperfect in that sense. The actual position is that the Lord can measure it, but the happiness in the Lord is also identical with the Lord on the account of absolute knowledge. So, the happiness derived from the Lord may be measured by the Lord, but the happiness increases again and the Lord measures it again, and then again the happiness increases more and more and the Lord measures it more and more, and as such there is eternality, a competition between increment and measurement, so much so that the competition never stopped but goes on unlimitedly ad infinitum. Such a beautiful paper by Srila Prabhupada. And this is the clue of how we can be happy also. Ad infinitum, with the power of infinitum. Because the happiness Krishna feels, if Krishna can do anything and everything, then why cannot he measure his happiness? Prabhupada very nicely explains, as soon as he goes to measure the happiness, what happens? The devotee is saved and Krishna's happiness increases again. Krishna saves the devotee's happiness increases again. In this way there is competition between Krishna and the Lord, and the happiness increases to the power of ad infinitum. So Prabhupada then goes on to say, spiritual happiness is anandam buddhivardhanam, or ocean of happiness which increases. The material ocean is stagnant, but spiritual ocean is dynamic. So imagine the whole waters of the world. They're so vast. It can be described as ocean of bliss. But guess what? It is material. But spiritual ocean, apart from being vast, it is eternally expanding. The material ocean is stagnant, but spiritual ocean is dynamic. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami has nicely described this dynamic increment of the ocean of spiritual happiness in transcendental person of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. And this is the clue of this pastime, Julan Yatra, that in Krishna's presence, the transcendental personality, Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna, the happiness increases to unimaginable portion. Let's look at what all this means. So, Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, in whom resides all mellows of devotional service. So all the happiness resides in Krishna in different proportions. And then In the translation, Prabhupada of the same verse says, He is the reservoir of pleasure for devotees in all devotional mellows. So any service devotees do in any mellows, Shantarasa, Sakyarasa, Dasyarasa, Vatsalya, parenthood or conjugal. And we see here that what does it mean from Radharani's point of view? It means Abhinava Jaladhara Sundara hai Dhrita Mandara hai. Abhinava Jaladhara Sundara hai Dhrita Mandara hai. Shri Mukha Chandra Chakora. Shri Mukha Chandra Chakora. Shri Mukha Chandra Chakora. Shri Mukha Chandra Chakora. Jai Jai Deva Krishna's beauty knows no bounds. Abhinava Jaladhara Sundar hai. It's like a fresh, dark rain cloud. Sundara hai. Very, very beautiful. And he lifts the golden mountain, Dhritamandara hai. And Srimati Radharani has a 24-hour, 7-day opportunity to look at the moon-like cloud Jaladhara face of Lord Shri Krishna. And she is described as Shri Mukha Chandra Chakora. There is a bird called Chakora there. And this bird only subsides on moonlight, rays of the moon. Similarly, Srimati Radharani's only khorak means food. Only food is just darshan of Lord Krishna. Our spiritual appetites, actually, if we make it so, then our so-called material needs will decline gradually. Spirituality means negation of material so-called necessities of life. Our eating will decline, our desires will decline because our hearts will be satisfied. Our Guru Maharaj taught us this one verse, Re Jatak Savadhana Manasa Mitrakshanam Shruyatam Ambodhe Bahuvo Hisanti Gagane Sarve Pinay Tadrisham. Jatak is a bird which only drinks water in Shravana Mas of Swati Nakshatra, of this particular time period, and that too, that water which just drops from the first drop of that cloud. It will not drink any other water. So the point advises, don't look at all the clouds, because most of the clouds, they only ponder, but they don't know. They say, garaste hain, baraste nahi. Ambodhi bahavo hi santi gagane sarve pinai tradisham kechid vrishti vyadravanti vasudham garjanti kechid uchchaiswarai. In this world, people will promise you many things very loudly. I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. But when it comes to doing it, they will fail. They are like clouds which only thunder but do not rain. Therefore he says, Yam yam pashyati tasya tasya bruhito ma bruhidinam vachaha. Don't look at those clouds and beg. Do something for me. So similarly, Radharani and gopis, devotees of Krishna, only look to Krishna for everything. Krishna is my Lord, all in all. And this is where they can experience Ananda. Now in 5 minutes I'll conclude. There is the time period in Vrindavan that Shravana Mas is a period when traditionally the brothers come and they take their sisters home. Anyone from UP? Yes, Mataji. Okay. Haryana, yeah, same thing. All North Indian side this happens. It's a good system. Wives get a break from the in-laws, especially, the extended families they live. And Radharani's situation is very dismal because the in-laws, there is, mother-in-law, Jatila, not now, so later we can talk.
No, in South India they do the same thing in Ashada Mas.
Ashada Mas, okay. Same system. So in that Mas, in that period, Radharani is just waiting. When will her brother Sridham come and take him? So the tradition is in that period that the brother and sister, they go and they have nice swing, right? Not like these swings we have in the parks here. They're very small, if it's high, we just recently when we moved to a new, there's a big tree, and there's a big swing there as well. When we sit on the swing and ride, actually all the depression, everything goes away. That's the effect of swing. It is, all the pictures of Radha Krishna we see, actually, when we see this picture, Radha Krishna on swing, then we can see, no, actually that's the epitome of pleasure. Experience most pleasure. Even in psychology they say, this swing does some effect. So Radharani is very sad, as it is mother-in-law is always taunting, sister-in-law is always taunting. But this one time in the month during the year, she can just go home and be at home. So Matajis can probably relate. When you go to your father's place, mother's place, then you are the queen of the house there. There is no work to be done. Now, Guru used to say, actually, daughters we should treat like queens. Because we don't know what the future holds, what their karma holds, what kind of husband, house they may get. So treat daughters like queens. But Radharani was waiting. All other vadhus, they had already gone, brothers had come, but Sridham hadn't come. And Sridham was collecting a lot of gifts, so that when he came and gave, then the mother-in-law would allow Radharani to go. And that's what happened. Radharani was allowed to go. And when Radharani came to Barsana, to her parents' home, Brijbhanu's heart knew no delight, end of limit of delight. And there Radharani is at ease. Brijbhanu, father, is very liberal. And he allows Radharani to go with her friends out. And this time, all the gopis, all the sakhis, friends of Radharani say that she has become so sad and morose in separation of Krishna. Although in separation she's feeling bliss, but they want to make her most happy. So, in one of Vrindavan, on Kadamba tree, they make a swing, a jula, and there they put Radha and Krishna on the jula, and for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna, they swing their lordships. Sometimes Krishna gets down and Krishna swings Srimati Radharani. Sometimes Srimati Radharani gets down and Radharani swings Krishna. In this way, they have great delight, great humor. They sing songs and they have the most pleasurable pastime. And here, as it is said, Bhaktim ladva sadhva kim anyat avashishyati manya anant gune brahmanti anandanubhava atmani. Ananda anubhava atmani. The heart knows no limits to ananda, to bliss. So our whole philosophy is to assist in pleasure of Krishna, then we also become actually happy and pleasurable. And the best way is to put Radha and Krishna in this time on the swing and This may be very nice. We may think, oh, I enjoy swinging this. But if we go with this mentality tonight, when we have the opportunity to swing the Lordship, that, oh Krishna, oh Giri Govardhan Hare, oh Srimati Radharani, let me swing you today for your pleasure, not mine. And if that mentality we do that, then Krishna, guess what, will reciprocate and we will feel more pleasure than we would have otherwise. Similarly, in life, in everything we do, if we make Radha and Krishna the object of our endeavor to please them, then actually we experience actual pleasure. Narottam Das Thakur says, Kalindira kule keli kadambera bana Kalindira kule keli kadambera bana Ratana vedira I will see the divine couple on the throne made of brilliant jewels. So Matajis and Prabhus have decorated this nice Julan. We can just see that it replicates the Kadamba tree, which represents Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is very strong, like Kadamba tree is very strong. So in this way we place the divine couple in our hearts and swing them for their pleasure. Radha Krsna Prana Gora Julan So if we can make in conclusion the divine couple Shri Radha and Krishna as my life and my soul, our life and our soul in life or death, and we have no other refuge, no other shelter except for them, and everything if we do for their pleasure, then actually we can be happy. And this Krishna consciousness movement provides the best means of doing this. Just simply chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we can get purified, and in that purified state, we can accept that actually yes, Krishna is the actual enjoyer, and that our every endeavor is for his pleasure, and then actually we'll experience pleasure ourselves. Jai Shri Radha Krsna Radha Govardhan Hare ki Jai, Julan Yatra Utsava ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. So we'll now get up and observe Arati, and thereafter we'll have Julan Yatra. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.